you ever noticed a quirky pattern with certain Sonic titles? Sometimes it'll just be Sonic's name, followed by a letter or two. You might be thinking, well, yeah, okay, of course Sonic titles are gonna have letters in them. You can't spell a word without letters. And what I mean is a singular letter, or on occasion, two. And this has actually happened on more than just one or two occasions. This is actually something I noticed a long time ago as a kid, and I always thought it was a dumb but fun little fact. And I could think of no better day other than today to talk about it. Intro time! Before I get started, I want to take a moment to thank my channel members. This video shoutout goes to Doom. Thanks, Doom, I really appreciate you, man. If you'd like to have your name featured here and have a possible shoutout, please consider becoming a member by hitting the join button. And I'd like to thank my patrons too. The support means a lot and it allows me to keep creating content. And even if you can't become a member or a patron, please make sure you hit subscribe and also ring that bell. It all helps so much. And without further ado, let's get back to this stupid fucking video. Alright, so before we begin, I figured that we should go in chronological order of release here. First up is... releasing in the year of 1993, we have Sonic CD. Alright, it's two letters, so some may or may not count this one since it's technically an acronym, but it is still pronounced CD. So, C and D. On the contrary, you could call it Sonic the Hedgehog Compact Disc, but that's a little long. Sonic Compact Disc was seen as a rare hidden gem, much like Knuckles' Chaotix for the longest time, up until it got included as part of Sonic Gems collection in 2005. And 6 years after that, it would get a remaster by Christian Whitehead, definitely making it the ideal way to play this game. Next up, we have 1996's Sonic Blast. Wait, Sonic Blast? That's not a letter! Well, my dear viewer, in Japan, the game is known as G-Sonic. Okay, what does the G in G-Sonic even stand for? Garbage, most likely, which is why the game got renamed to Sonic Blast overseas. More like Sonic Shit Blast, am I right? Okay, so being for real this time, it's not like that name is much better, it's just an obvious tie-in to match up with Sonic 3D Blast, which is a far better game, well, at least compared to this one, that released around the same time. This game was actually the Game Gear's swan song for Sonic, and man, what an awful note to go out on. The following year in 1997, we were blessed with Sonic R for the Sega Saturn. The R here stands for racing, since this is a racing game, and to this day is still the only full racing game where Sonic doesn't use a vehicle or a hoverboard of some sort. Well, I mean, except Amy and Robotnik, I guess. This is technically Sonic's first full 3D game for consoles, so it's kind of a big deal. So when critics say Sonic had a rough transition to 3D, this is probably the game they were talking about because the turning could use a little work. But otherwise, this game is fire, and the soundtrack is always on loop at the office. Next up, we have a little-known Sonic game released for Motorola phones in 2001, known as Sonic J. It's a tiny little platformer with minimal graphics. Not much to really say here other than this probably felt really revolutionary at the time. I mean, having a cell phone in 2001 was one thing, but a Sonic game available on it? That's some crazy stuff. This next entry isn't a game, which is why I needed to go with titles for the name of this video, but a TV show. Sonic X began airing in 2003, and it ran for 52 episodes on TV Tokyo. And an additional 26 episodes were made because it was so popular overseas. So, what did the X in the title even stand for? Does it represent Sonic and Chris's worlds crossing over into one another? Does it mean anything related to the search results I accidentally stumbled upon when I was a child that I wish I hadn't? No. It's because the name sounds cool, and it really isn't any deeper than that. Okay, wait, hold on. Remember how I said this wasn't a game? Okay, well, I lied. There technically was a Sonic X game released for the Leapster in 2007. It was a small platformer meant for little kids, and its goal was to teach them some basic math equations. I really suck at math, so I really could have used this as a kid.
It's not too late.
Thanks, Axel. Also releasing in 2003, we have Sonic N, which is Sonic Advance simply for the N-Gage, Nokia's handheld gaming device meant to compete with the Game Boy Advance. It's literally just Sonic Advance, but without the Chow Garden, despite a Chow being on the cover. This is really nothing to write home about, and the N-Gage is just kinda whatever, and it was modeled after Go apparently. Also in 2003, we got a pachinko machine called CR Sonic. It's loosely based off of Sonic Adventure 2, playing some modified footage. All you gotta do is drop a coin or two in there and watch it unfold. I've never really played this one since it's Japanese only, but it doesn't really seem like this one was entirely a hit. One would think that this is everything, but nope. In January 2005, we saw the release of Sonic XS, a browser game on 4Kids' website to tie in with the popularity of Sonic X. This is just a small Flash side-scrolling platformer, and today it feels very primitive, and I guess it was even at the time. What does the XS even stand for anyway? Extra small? Sonic X small? The world may never know. Sonic XS was apparently such a hit that it actually got a sequel that very same year, and just a month later. This time, it's Shadow XS. It's very similar to the last title, except more black and red, and it's a bit more difficult. And Shadow is just Sonic, but recolored. Even the arms are left tan. Can you believe this shit? Tan arms on Shadow? My god, I feel like we've had these blue arm debates for Sonic over and over and over again, but what about the tan arm debates for Shadow? Fun fact, this is technically Shadow's first game, as it released in February 2005, which beats Shadow the Hedgehog by 9 months. Well, I mean, I guess the 2003 McDonald's handheld game was Shadow's first game, if we're counting that. And that means, as of this writing, we have used 8 of the available 26 letters in the alphabet. And they're all consonants, so that narrows things down a bit more. There are 21 consonants, and if we used 8 of them, that means Sonic titles have used over 1/3 of all available consonants. How about we start getting into some vowels next time? Sonic E, anyone? What about Sonic O? Sonic U? Oh, they should have done that for the Wii U. An honorary mention goes to Sonic Adventure DX. It didn't quite make the list because it's 2 letters followed by another word in the title, not just Sonic's name. Although, if I remember correctly, the GameCube memory card screen does call it Sonic DX, but that is simply because there's limited space for text. Sorry, Sonic Adventure DX. Maybe next time. Well, that's about it for this odd collection of Sonic titles and media. We could have made this list a little longer by including some unofficial and fan-made Sonic things, but the goal here was to stick with official only. Which one is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later. Matane!